escaping the march out of the camp. On encountering the U.S. Army, he acted as an interpreter and leader of the Garmisch-Partenkirchen Survivors Collection Camp. In June 1945, Rudolf and Heda were reunited in Prague. With optimism and hope for a better and just society, Heda and Rudolf Margolius began their post-war life in Prague. Rudolf became a member of the Communist Party. During the war, his parents had been shot following their transport to Riga. He'd endured humiliation and suffering in the Nazi labor and concentration camps, and was impressed by how the communists helped other detainees there. He'd resolved to help create a prosperous welfare state without social class divisions and racial prejudice. Heda perceived, though, that the new politicians gaining power were corrupt and dishonest with their extreme behavior and drastic policies. However, Rudolf, full of determination, managed to persuade her of his point of view. With reluctance, Heda joined the party too. After the communist takeover of Czechoslovakia in 1948, Rudolf became Deputy Minister of Foreign Trade, in charge of economic agreements with the capitalist countries. Over the next 4 years, despite the efforts of many experts, and partly due to the enforced exports of Czechoslovak goods, foodstuffs, and mineral resources to the Soviet Union, the centralized economy began to fail, and the Czechoslovak Communist Party and its Soviet advisors sought scapegoats. Heda feared for Rudolf's safety and tried to make him leave his post, but he insisted that he was ordered by the party to carry on in his duties, as there was no one to replace him. In January 1952, he was arrested following the detention of the communist deputy leader Slansky. Accused unjustly of anti-state conspiracy and sentenced in a show trial, Rudolf was executed in December 1952. The Slansky trial, in which 11 out of 14 innocent defendants were sentenced to death for the fabricated offenses of spying and sabotage, became one of the most significant episodes of the communist rule on the European continent in the 1950s. Its outcome affected not only the fate of our family, but lives of thousands of other Czechoslovak citizens and even peoples of the neighboring countries. The trial's purpose, after Yugoslavia's defection in 1948, was to deter any deviation from the Soviet camp. The Soviet Union's paranoia about the vulnerability of its borders and its security, which persists to this day, had to be satisfied by a solid protective zone of loyal communist countries. Heda survived because of her determination to fight back, despite all obstacles placed in front of her. If Hitler had not managed to destroy her, then the Soviets and the Communists would not do so either. As a persecuted wife of a traitor and a political undesirable, she'd managed to look after us both, scraping a living by designing book dust jackets and weaving carpets. In 1955, she married her second husband, Pavel KovAly, who suggested, because of Heda's knowledge and love of languages, that she should try her hand at translation. She translated into Czech the books of well-known German, British, and American authors, and passed them on to publishers, initially using Pavel's name to submit her work, as she herself wasn't allowed to earn a living. In August 1968, Warsaw-packed countries invaded Czechoslovakia, and Heda fled the country. By then, I was living in London, having left Prague in 1966. As soon as I'd discovered all the details of Rudolf's fate, I decided I could no longer trust and live in the country of my birth, and sought refuge in Britain, the oldest democracy. By then, Pavel was lecturing in Boston, Massachusetts. Heda joined Pavel and subsequently worked at the Harvard Law School Library beginning in the fall of 1975.